So this is classic, isn't it? I put out a video saying Farage has suddenly gone quiet because of racism allegations, and just like Beetlejuice, say his name 3 times and he appears, holding a press conference. Anyway, he didn't call this conference to answer questions, he called it to silence them. Farage has been in hiding, radio silent after accusation of racism surfaced. And when he finally pops his head up, he doesn't offer a defence, he offers a distraction. He claims he's the victim of a smear campaign, and watch closely, because you'll see a man terrified of his own record. Just the way he attempted to bully the BBC isn't a show of strength, it's a clear admission of guilt that you'll ever see. So, under the guise of an emergency press conference, just trying to get a new headline that isn't Farage is embroiled in racism, he struts in and tries to project this cocky confidence. This is a man that lives and breathes attention like it's oxygen. Being forced into radio silence for days while others control the narrative, that hasn't made him reflective, it's been eating him alive. And straight away he tees it up as open season, ask him anything. Here he is on his Jack Jones. Only it's a massive bluff designed to hide how rattled he is.
Now, I know that there'll be a variety of questions because reform does seem to be in the news quite a lot lately. So this is a good opportunity to ask pretty much whatever you want. It's open season. I'm on my Jack Jones, so here we go.
Because apparently anything doesn't include the one thing he's been hiding from for a week, his own racist comments. He promises free speech and then spends the next 20 minutes policing it. The BBC asked the most obvious, straightforward question of the day. Did you or did you not say the racist things to your former classmates? And Farage absolutely detonates. Suddenly it's not all about him, it's the BBC's fault for television shows in the 1970s.
This morning, Richard Tice said on the radio, he was asked about the comments made by schoolmates of yours who have said that comments you made they viewed as racist and offensive. He said that they were lying. You have said before that you did make comments. It may have been banter. It wasn't directly racially abusing anyone. So Richard Tice is wrong, isn't he?
I thought this morning's performance by one of your lower grade presenters on the Today programme was utterly disgraceful. I think to frame a question around the leader of Reform's relationship with Hitler, which is how she framed it, was despicable, disgusting, beyond belief. Are you surprised that 500,000 people every year refuse to pay the licence fee? But let me say this to you. The double standards and hypocrisy of the BBC are absolutely astonishing. At the time I was alleged to have made these remarks, one of your most popular weekly shows was the Black and White Minstrels, right? The BBC were very happy to use blackface. Oh, and not just in the Black and White Minstrels, you did it in It Ain't Half Hot Mum as well. And what about Alf Garnett? Do you remember what he called Marigold? Do you remember the word he used to describe Marigold on not live, but on primetime national TV? I better not repeat the word, otherwise you'll all use it and say that I used it. Homophobia? It ain't half hot, Mum. Are you being served? Oh, and what about Bernard Manning? Perfectly happy at exactly the same time for Bernard Manning to appear on primetime national BBC comedy, telling jokes for which these days you'd probably get a knock at the door from our thought police and perhaps get a 31-month prison sentence. I cannot put up with the double standards of the BBC about what I'm alleged to have said 49 years ago and what you were putting out on mainstream content. So I want an apology from the BBC for virtually everything you did throughout the 1970s and 80s. And I will respond to your direct question.
This is pathetic. He's arguing that because It Ain't Half Hot Mum existed in 1974, he holds no responsibility for his own alleged behaviour. It's not a defence. He's trying to drag the broadcaster down into the mud so that you don't notice him standing up into his neck in it. And then comes his prop, the mystery letter. He waves a piece of paper from a Jewish pupil who claims Farage is just engaging in macho tongue-in-cheek schoolboy banter.
I've received many letters over the course of the last few days from people that I was at school with. This one I think is particularly relevant. I was a Jewish pupil at Dulwich College at the same time, and I remember him very well. While there was plenty of macho, tongue-in-cheek schoolboy banter, it was humour. And yes, sometimes it was offensive, rather like most of the BBC's output, but never with malice. I never heard him racially abuse anyone. If he had, he would have been reported and punished. He wasn't. The news stories are without evidence except for belatedly politically dubious recollections from nearly half a century ago. Back in the 1970s, the culture was very different. Perhaps, Damon, you should reflect on that. Especially at Dulwich. Lots of boys said things they'd regret today, or just laugh at. Whilst Nigel stood out, he was neither aggressive nor a racist. If I can help in any way, let me know. And I've had plenty of those messages over the course of the last few days.
Who is this person? Well, we don't know. He won't say. It's the classic, my girlfriend goes to another school, but you wouldn't know her routine. If this witness exonerates him, name them, put them on the podium. Instead, he reads a testimonial that sounds suspiciously like one of his own press releases. It's weak and it's transparent. And this is where the pressure of that silence finally blows his lid off. He can't hold the calm statements act anymore.
Next, Sam Coates from Sky News. No, I'm done with you, thank you.
My question was, he said they were lying, and it sounds like...
Sam Coates from Sky... I'm really, until you apologise for all of your output, your appalling output, at the same time that I'm accused of saying these things which I deny, I'm not speaking to you, all right?
But it doesn't end there. ITV brings up another allegation. Boom, same meltdown. LBC tries to clarify whether these comments are acceptable then or now, and he dodges harder than he dodged parliamentary elections over 20 years.
From Dulwich
Good for
College.
you. Let's move on to the Times,
Stefan
shall we?
Baranok, he says he can remember you
Very good.
making hissing noises
Very
towards
good.
Peter Atedja.
Harry, you are
Jewish
wasting your
people.
time. Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning. Do you want to hear some of the Bernard Manning jokes on ITV?
These are pretty serious allegations.
I'm sure they are.
Remember you
I'm
making
sure they are.
hissing noises
Very
towards
good.
Jewish people
Very good.
and joking about how Hitler should have blessed him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you,
I'm sure.
like your deputy leader,
I'm sure.
think these allegations are also made of...
Shall I reread this letter to you? You were the channel of Bernard Manning. He occasionally appeared on the Beeb. Your channel, at the same time that I'm accused of saying this, which I deny in any malicious or nasty way, at the same time as that, you every single week had homophobic content, you had racist content, you had all sorts of content which these days you'd be locked up for. So let's cut the double standards from British broadcasters, shall we? I've made it as clear as I'm going to. Their double standards are absolutely contemptuous. I've had enough.
And then...
You might think, yeah, I mean, you might say I actually mean that.
Shanbury from
Yeah.
LBC. Can I just check what you meant in your responses to Damien Grammaticus and Harry Horton? Because it seemed like you were suggesting that the alleged comments should be placed in the context of time. Do you agree now that comments like that would be unacceptable now? Are you trying to suggest they weren't acceptable then? And there's lots of Tories that obviously you wouldn't want in Reform UK, but would you be interested in having Robert Jenrick by your side?
Ah, that's a really good question. Well done. Look, back in the 1970s, the culture was very different, especially at Dulwich. Lots of boys said lots of things they'd regret today or simply just laugh at. And the double standards from the BBC this morning were wholly unacceptable.
You read the letter from your school friend.
I did.
Thank you for that, which says that you did say offensive things at school.
I say them every day.
Whether they were with malice or not, deliberately every day.
I've said offensive things today. There we are.
Will you apologise to the people for the offence you caused?
If
at
I
school?
genuinely thought I'd hurt somebody, I would apologise, of course. I've never, ever, ever in my nature been a bully of any kind at all, and I would never wish to. And I look forward to a proper apology for homophobia, sexism and racism coming from our national...
And remember, this man claims to be not hiding. He's not scared. He's happy to answer anything. Apparently anything means crypto, donations, mayors, Putin, Trump, literally anything except the one thing he's actually being accused of. And for a man who brands himself the champion of free speech, he's remarkably thin-skinned. That radio silence made him volatile. He shuts down the press, refuses to answer, demands apologies for TV shows that aired 50 years ago, blames the BBC, blames the 1970s, blames modern culture, blames double standards. The only person he doesn't blame is Nigel Farage. He looks rattled, he looks guilty, and most importantly, he looks like a man who knows that radio silence was the only thing keeping him safe. He wants you to believe he's fighting the establishment. He's not. He's fighting the truth, and he's losing. And to see what all this twaddle's about, well, you need to watch the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.